Hello everyone. Today we are making a video per a request. Did you know that? We had the opportunity,
and we'll tell you what we mean by that in a second,
to hike, nay, to adventure the wave in Coyote Buttes. What state?
It technically is in Arizona, but you start in Utah.
If you're already losing interest and you're like, I don't care, well, why don't you just take a look at this?
And if that's not good enough for you, how about this? Or this one?
Oh, I like this one right here. Alright, so again, the request came from somebody because this is not a accessible hike without a permit. So when people say, oh, I won the lottery to hike the wave, what that means
is that you can apply online or in person for their lottery.
So we want to kind of tell you our story about how we applied in person, and this would be a really boring video if we didn't actually win the lottery and get to go on the hike. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Spoiler alert.
We won! That's what we're going to talk about in this video. And we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to throw up a bunch of pictures and videos that we took along our adventure.
This video would not be complete if we did not talk about the orientation.
Oof. Here's a snapshot of this. Can't say I remember this guy's name, but what he did is put the fear of God into the group members that were picked. Like it was as if we were going directly into the Sahara without a bottle of water and no map. No, I'm not even joking.
Truly terrified us. Rightfully so, because he did inform us that the week before they had multiple helicopter evacuations, but
we'll get to this. It's really not that complicated once you get out there. Okay, fast forwarding a little bit, the way this works is you make the hike the next day, so you can start early in the morning when it's cool enough. So it's actually quite a trek from Kanab to the trailhead. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the trailhead. So we decided, because we were gonna camp out. I think this was our spot that night, and it got really dark. I remember it just being like more dark than normal. And then we actually got up the next morning. I think it was about, actually I can look up the exact time. It was at 6 a.m.
Nice and early.
Really, yes. I barely slept that night. I was nervous. I don't know why I was nervous. I don't know what.
Because Jimmy at the orientation put the fear of God in us.
It terrified us. So we get to the trailhead, and like they told us, it really is not much of a trail. You're kind of just following landmarks. It's very interesting. I've never hiked anything like this.
Occasionally you'll see some footprints. I think we have a picture here of like you can see where other people have walked, so that's helpful.
But generally this is pretty much what it looked like as we hiked along. Very deserty, and they recommended and reminded us along the way to take pictures because things look, believe it or not, very different on the way back. They say mainly when people get lost, it's on the way back. This is Mallory using her very sophisticated map. How about that?
It's not bad. They literally give you a map with just pictures and arrows pointing to like, go to these humps of these rocks.
All right, so eventually we make it there. I think the hike, I'm not gonna guess. I'll put it right here exactly how long the hike was round trip, but it really was not bad.
Not at all.
We took way more water than we needed because, again, he told us to.
All right, getting to the actual wave. There's not a ton of words to describe.
Wow.
To describe the like feeling when you first walk up into it. That was a cool part, is that you do kind of have to hike up and then you get to it. So it's not like you can see it from the distance. I think Ben actually got a picture of the moment that I first saw it, which you can't tell by my face. A lot going on.
Yeah.
It truly is mind-blowing, and quite honestly, probably the most incredible hike we've done.
Yeah, pictures really don't do justice. I know we're showing you a bunch right now, but they don't really even touch it.
They don't scratch the surface.
Nice.
So we get in, and we were the second group there, which it was our goal to be one of the first. And if you do ever have the pleasure of doing this hike someday, highly recommend getting up at the crack of dawn to try to beat the crowd. And by crowd, I mean like 20, 30 other people out there.
Yeah, still though. Some of those people were
you don't want to say that there are people out there who don't deserve to go.
But I'll say it. Some of those people did not deserve to go.
When you watch someone show up, take a couple selfies, and then leave, it's pretty disappointing. Which brings us to our next part.
The wave actually has a lot more to offer than just the wave, turns out.
Lots of sights to see.
So here's a few more pictures and videos of us traveling around. There was a lot of other caves and crevices that you can explore. Well, we made it to the wave rock in our bucket hats. Look at that. Let me just tell you, video or pictures, sorry, just do not do justice.
Not at all.
And again, I feel like everything was just different out there. Like, we found these. Mallory thought they kind of looked like, what did you say they looked like?
Oh, they look like dinner rolls.
They looked like dinner rolls. Yeah, they
You know,
really
the ones
did.
that are like stuck in a tin foil. There was even something called the second wave, which essentially is a smaller version of
The big wave.
the wave.
Of the wave. And then if you're really going for it, and again, we spent about 4 hours here, 4 or 5 hours. There's 2 arches on the top of the small butte behind the wave. And small is relative.
Yeah, we definitely have video footage of that.
I'm in my little arch. Come on. Water's fine.
It's an incredible view, and getting to see the wave from above at a different perspective was really cool. So we climbed back down, and again, you can see here just how far we were from the wave.
Last cool thing to note about, well, I'm sure there are more, but another cool thing to note as we're kind of finishing this up is when you go out there, especially on the second wave, you see these things. He called them fins. There's probably a more...
Well, if he called them fins.
You're right. That's the term. But you can see him here, and it's actually really sad. He said these used to be about 3 feet wide or 3 feet in depth, but over time, people walking on them, erosion, rainfall, they're significantly smaller now.
And this goes back to the point of why there's a lottery. It's an extremely delicate terrain, so limiting the number of people that go out help preserve this natural phenomenon.
Nice. All right, so we snapped a few more pictures, got all of the... This right here is really the money shot. This area, like, I feel like we only got this spot once or twice where people weren't just crowding this area. But, I mean, it is pretty stinking beautiful. So, after, like I said, 4 or 5 hours, we decided to head out.
Which... it was not easy leaving.
It was sad, actually.
Especially realizing, like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we probably aren't going to do it again, you know, just trying to soak up all of the goodness.
Stand by.
Yeah.
So we headed back on the trail, pseudo trail. Nothing really that interesting happened. We didn't get lost.
We made some nice trail buddies along the way.
They came from Tahoe to do the hike, and they had been applying online for 8 years. So we felt kind of bad telling them we only applied once. Yee.
Something to note.
Don't try to do this without a permit.
It's a minimum of $1,000 fine, and when they say...
And possible jail time.
Oh, yes.
That was on there, too.
And sometimes that stuff you're kind of like, oh, really? But let me tell you, there was a sneaky little, what would you call him, ranger?
Yeah, he was a ranger.
Yeah, he was a ranger.
I call him a ranger. He was a ranger.
Hiding around a corner on our way back to check all of our permits. So, please, do not go out there if you don't have a permit. So we got back to the car, said bye to our friends.
And then headed out on, again, 2-hour drive, but one of those hours are on a very dirt road. Very, very dirt road. Washboard, just... I think we actually have a little bit of footage right after we got out of the hike.
All right, Benny boy.
Benny boy!
What just happened?
We hiked the hike.
We hiked the hike.
We hiked the wave hike.
Faces are nice and red.
Yeah.
Which they weren't lying when they said it's hot out there, or it gets hot out there, because definitely on that hike back, we were feeling the heat.
Dripping sweat. And that is the conclusion of our hike of the wave. The process from the beginning of winning the lottery, the terrifying orientation.
The lack of a trail, the emotions of actually getting to the wave, all the other fun things to explore.
It really is an incredible hike if you ever get the opportunity to do it. And like we said, we did, so we wanted to share our experience as was requested. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you stumbled onto this looking for things about the wave or wave hikes.
We actually have other videos, but they're about living in a van.
Yeah, because
So
that's what we do. So
feel free to check those out.
and subscribe if you like them. Pretty simple process, really. All right, that's all. Hope you enjoyed.
See you later.